And Pat, are we all set, ma'am?
For 150.
I would like to call to order the meeting of the Tilton Budget Committee this December 9th, 2015. First order of business is I would request permission from the committee to postpone the normal order or suspend normal order of business so that we can have Child and Family Services do their presentation. Are there any concerns? Hearing none, we'll hear Child and Family Services request. If you give us your name, and then we'll go around and introduce ourselves, sir.
Yeah, my name's Tony Cheek, and I'm the CFO with Child and Family Services.
Christine Dembitsky. Lee Harvey. Jane Alvin.
Wayne Brock.
John Scanlon, and the ex officio selectman.
Eric Butter.
And behind you, the other thing I would mention that is if a question comes from Pat or from the public, feel free to turn around, try to scrunch around to answer the question. Okay, would you like to start, sir?
Sure, and
There you go.
most, I think, are familiar faces here, so folks are familiar with Child and Family Services. We're the oldest nonprofit in the state focused on children and family issues. Go way back to 1850, starting with a variety of different organizations that have merged together over the years into our current group. We did send in a request. I don't know if all the folks get the copy of the letter. You want me to just kind of hit the highlights of that for you folks?
Yep.
And it's very similar to what we've requested in previous years. I think, let's see, you allocated 28, okay, so we are asking for 3,000. I'm not sure what you allocated last year, actually. My letter doesn't state.
2850.
What was it?
2850.
2850, okay, that's right. Yeah, and so we were able to leverage that for $26,000 in care, reduced cost care. We provided services to 6 families for kids that went to camp, 6 families for children's enrichment services, 5 family counseling opportunities, 2 intensive home base opportunities, parent aid, child health enrichment services for 9 families, for 27 different families that receive services for 431 hours and 84 days of care. And really what we do is we take, what you guys are able to contribute and just kind of pull it together with all our other resources. Nonprofits, as you all know, struggle every year to make ends meet as there's been, funding cuts all around and everybody has tight budgets. So, we really appreciate it when towns are able to step up and help out a little bit, and we take that and just try and continue to maintain the services that we provide to the surrounding towns, Tilton and all the other surrounding Lakes Region towns that we support. Let's see if there was anything else I wanted to touch on here. I think we did send up our service brochure. I've got one here if you folks haven't seen it, and we also have an annual report, which I don't think you guys have seen, so I brought a few copies of that. You want me to leave that stuff?
Yep.
The collector?
Yep, sure.
I'll give you a couple of the annual reports, because they gave you a pile of them. I think that top brochure, I think you should have a bunch of those floating around from previous times.
This is 2.
If you have more, we'll just pass them on, sir.
Sure, yeah, the annual reports, I got a few if everybody wants one.
Oh, yeah, they like reading things.
That stuff, I'll keep one so I can answer questions if you really do look at it closely.
Eric?
Thank you.
We'll give you one, Joanna.
And of course, if you guys deliberate after and have questions, there's contact information in our request, and certainly happy to answer questions after the fact as well. Any specific questions for me?
Ready for questions. Christine?
I just started looking at this, but on the application, 8/31/15 was 408,000 operating, and the year before is 140,000,
On the application.
or even 14,032.
Looking at the cash balances.
Oh, okay, that's
Is that what
cash
you're
balance.
looking-
Oh, then
yeah,
that's
so
a good thing,
In the
okay.
middle there, yeah, 804.
So these are your bank accounts, not...
The liquid asset accounts, including checking and savings accounts. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's asked for, but we always provide what's asked for, so.
Jules, well, Christine, I can come back to you for a
Yeah,
couple minutes.
'cause I'm-
Jules, go ahead.
Substance abuse treatment, can you tell me a little bit, since that's such a
That's,
big problem?
that's the hot button item, yeah.
What does that entail?
So we have counselors that work in most of our office locations, and the closest ones to here are Laconia and Concord. So we've got, licensed clinical staff that provide counseling to typically we focus on adolescents with substance abuse problems. So we're not a treatment program, we don't have a residential treatment program or things like that, but more just the counseling
So they come
component to it. So they
you,
come into us, to our office.
they're referred through,
Typically, through, school systems, other community resources, town welfare, departments, doctor's offices, things like that.
I don't suppose you have any of those numbers of people from Tilton that you might have.
Well, the family counseling numbers, so the 5 families served for the 43 hours encompasses, that would be any
Everything,
kind of
that's
counseling.
everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Jules, anything else?
That's it for now. Thanks.
Jane?
Just one question. Do you work with the youth assistance program in Tilton at all?
Yeah, I know we're familiar with them. I don't think we provide any joint programming, so to speak, but we are familiar. And again, cross referrals and things like that, yes, yeah.
Do you actually go into our school system, or do you wait for that? Are you proactive, or do you just respond when they come to you?
We typically respond. In some schools, we actually have contracts to put folks into the school systems. We don't in Tilton, but
Okay.
that is an opportunity if schools see a need.
Okay.
We have staff that go in, like for, 1 day a week and things like that, and actually be in the school systems, but we don't do that in Tilton.
And what are your children's enrichment activities? Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, there's a variety of different programs we do, we just did a big fundraiser for Christmases for Kids, a radio telethon where we raise funds and help families, around the holidays, things like that. We do, parent support groups, different, subject-based type things, to help parents, with different topics, a variety of different things throughout the year we offer, out of our different offices. We've got conference space where clinicians will put on topics, topic-based presentations, things like that. There might be some, I gave you my last copy of that pamphlet, but there may be
Yeah, I
some
know.
lists in
Yeah.
there of more detail, yeah.
Yeah.
John?
Eric, do you have anything?
Wow, this is going for, Pat? Christine, I tried to give you all the time in the world, and nobody wants to ask questions.
You guys have all
Christine?
heard the same spiel for every year after
Yeah.
year, we kind of do the
Christine?
same thing.
What's your year end?
Our year end is December 31st, which is unusual for a nonprofit, most are June.
Yeah.
And again, I think it goes back to us being around forever, so it is an oddball year end.
Okay, because it said as of August, so this must have been prepared in, before just after August then.
Yeah, that would have been in September, yeah. Yeah, and then we'll have, year end numbers that come out.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers look fairly consistent. There's no major changes. Payroll went up a little bit, but
Typical variances, but
you got a little bit more grant than you budgeted for. So, good.
And that's a good thing.
Yes,
You get more
definitely a
grants.
good thing.
Yeah, now you can embarrass your daughter, Nikki, right?
Jen,
Jen, any questions? See?
What was that?
I can say. I know recently, like Genesis got a big grant, and they set something up in the Laconia School District.
we're actually part of that. I don't think Genesis got the grant, I think the school itself got it.
school did,
The
and then
school
they
got it, and they
contracted.
contracted out, so we have a staff person employed by us that's in the school system in Laconia.
Yeah,
So we're part of that consortium that got put together to address.
okay.
And it seems sometimes that, some of the bigger city-type towns get a little more attention when it comes to some of that stuff, and, the smaller school districts, or, like Winnisquam,
Yeah.
kind of get a little bit left out.
It's interesting. I think it depends on, how the school system's set up. We've got some relatively small school districts, and there's a new superintendent, is it in Franklin?
Yeah, I
Fairly
think
recent,
there
who
is, yeah.
came from, I think, Raymond, is it?
Yes.
So Raymond, small town, on the demographic side, lots of issues, so to speak, troubled school system a little bit maybe. So we've had staff in the Raymond School District for years and years. So again, separate from our normal business, they actually pay us a contract with the school to have staff in there. And so it depends, and so that, and I think he was a principal down there. So there's a case where, we'd love to develop a relationship in Franklin, and maybe you couldn't spread to neighboring towns. So we're always willing to look at partnerships, but I think, and I'm not saying this is the case in Tilton, but there's not always an opportunity. Schools have their kind of system set up, and they either do things internally or don't have the money.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's a funding issue, but, if there's a contact at the school that you think we should reach out to, be happy to do that.
You're on the...
Right, well, I'm
Yes,
thinking of a couple
they'll come
pieces,
to that.
because we have a school resource officer who does a really good job over there, Bill Patton. He may be a person that would be able to do that. Also, John with the YAP does work with the school. So you could probably do some partnerships. We'll get together, I'll give you an email.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to add?
I don't think so. Like I said, we appreciate the opportunity. You guys have always been good to us. Hopefully that relationship continue. We understand it's tough for towns, just like it's tough for us, but most towns have been able to continue to help us out a little bit here where they can, and it's much appreciated.
Yes.
A little bit goes a long way, just to, to keep it a partnership.
So I will send some information to you about Dawn and with
Great.
Bill,
Yeah.
and we'll get some contacts going. Budget Committee and Select Board, any further questions? Sir, thank you for coming. Go home and enjoy the evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for the time.
no problem, sir.
John.
Okay, since our next group is not here yet, we can do business. I like doing business. All right, let's take a look at the meeting minutes, not from last week, but from the week prior. Because we have not looked at those yet. We have been too busy.
So that's, would be in your pack here.
Either that or you had them on the computer. They were November, Joanna, what was November?
Yeah.
Second?
No, it's December 2nd. One more. You may not have them, they're on the packet. They were in the previous package,
Which date?
back in November.
Oh,
Last week of November.
yeah.
Last week of November.
November 18,
Yes, I believe
that they were supposed to do that on the 2nd.
we did not do that. We were too busy doing other wonderful things, like me passing out papers. If nothing else, these tapes will have me wandering around. Johnny, you sit with us. I'll give this to Joanna.
Sure.
Make a motion to accept as written.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
Staying.
One abstention. Okay, let us go to the December 2nd minutes which is in your packet.
The motion to accept the minutes is written.
Second.
I got to this. Any further discussion, additions, or subtractions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Okay, next item of business. We need to come up with a public meeting, or two public meetings. First off, we need to decide whether we want one public meeting for both the warrant articles and the budget, or do we want two separate meetings, one for the operational budget only, and one for the warrant articles? What is the pleasure of the committee? John?
Well, as we usually have done it, it's good to have the two separate meetings, one earlier for the selectmen's budget and the departments and the outside agencies, and then that way, if there is a snowstorm, it also gives us time to reschedule, and we don't have to post it again. And it saves on advertising and all that. And the second one is primarily for the warrant articles, and it also works as a backup just in case. And hopefully, both of those would not get snowed out or something, but I believe we schedule it about 2 weeks before the deadline, the last one, or something like that. And then that way, if there was the second one snowed out, we'd still have enough time to squeeze one in.
Okay.
So
Are they conducted
Johanna's
here?
great.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's great at figuring out the math backwards with Joyce.
Eric, any comments?
Nope, that's fine with me.
Jane?
No?
Sounds good.
Yeah, I like the idea.
Pat?
I just have one question. Wasn't it last year, do you remember the residents complained the first public hearing that there was not, we didn't discuss the warrant articles, they come out to hear both?
There was some residents who would have liked to see them, but a lot of times they're not available when that first hearing is scheduled. I don't believe the Budget Committee had even seen them at that point.
I know last year we were late.
John, would you like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion that we schedule two meetings concurrently with separately, so that we have a backup date and make it a couple of weeks before our deadline.
I second that.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Joanna, can you come up with the dates? And when you're ready, ma'am, we're not going to hold you. So whenever you're ready, come on up. Oh, you have to sign in, though.
Oh, okay.
It's like the Price is Right.
Ready.
Come on down.
And which is this one?
This would be the blind, which is where I'm going. Old, blind, and feeble.
You know who to, hey, you've got friends at the Blind Association,
I
right?
will do that. I'll bring my CPAP machine with me and go over. Doctors.
No, everybody's got the CPAP now.
Yeah, it's the new,
I don't.
it's the new fad.
I'm too young for that.
I'm just gonna pass out a couple of newsletters for you, just for your, you might want to,
Great, thank you.
we have a few here, you can bring them downstairs and,
I have one.
You have one?
okay.
Is that the same, is that this,
John, you want one? Here,
is that this one? Or is this a different one? Oh, it's a new updated
Oh, is that
one.
the annual report, or is that, oh, that's another, oh, that's an annual
Oh,
report.
that's the annual report.
You already have that. Yeah, so, I will, I just wanna tell you before, you know.
First, before we start, the introduction, please.
Okay, my name is Shelley Prue, and I'm the Vice President for Development for the Association for the Blind.
This is for the public and us, and this is
Christine Dembitz.
new member.
Hi.
Who's doing well? Jules, go ahead.
Julia.
Hi. Sorry, I got you all messed up, didn't I?
You.
I'm Jane Alden.
Wayne Brock.
John Scanlon, I'm the ex officio from Selectmen.
Eric Pyra.
There you go, ma'am, go for
Yeah,
it.
most of you look familiar.
Yes.
I just want to tell you, just hot off the press, is we hired a new CEO. His name is David Morgan, and he was the vice president, actually, of the Perkins School for the Blind for 10 years. So he is a real dynamo. We're very, really, really excited. One of the things, I mean, as you know, most of the clients that we help are elderly. Probably, I'd say, 3/4 of who we help are probably over the age of 75. But this guy is, going to, in addition to serving elderly, really focus on the kids and families, doing a lot of kids and families. Also, we're going to be focusing on a lot of employment, we're going into the workplace and training up individuals who have severe vision impairments and, helping them get jobs and doing all. So we're really going to be expanding our programs down the road. So that's what's new and different here. And I also have a couple copies of our audited, our client statistics. I meant to bring the audited financials, but I didn't, I brought those instead, so. This year, I'm just gonna give you some figures on Tilton. Over the last 5 years, we've served like 21 clients in Tilton, and we've provided 44 visits, over 100 service hours. And so far in, last year we served 3 Tilton clients, and right now we're working with 2 clients that are in Tilton right now. So, and I think most of you are familiar with the work that we do, but most of our work is done in the person's home. We go into homes and work with people, help them, most of the people that we help have some remaining vision, so we provide the magnification devices and things like that. We go into the home and do home safety assessments, and we mark kitchen cabinets and things like that. We put these little tactile buttons on so they can actually feel their way around their apartment. We use a lot of contrast, a lot of black on white, white on black, and a lot of special lighting in people's homes so that they can live independently. That's the name of the game. We want people to be able to live safe and independently for as long as possible. And primarily, again, our folks that we help are elderly. And, we don't think it's fair that people have to leave their home just because they're losing their vision. It's just, there's so many ways to get around it, and there's so many ways to live a good, good life. If you're just missing your eyesight, that's not, it's bad, but it's not the end of the world, and there's still life, after that. So, we are working with one child, I think, over in Winnisquam right now, at Winnisquam High School. So we do work, we go into in addition to the work that we do with seniors, we go into the schools, provide special independent travel training, orientation and mobility. Again, we'll go into a school like Winnisquam, and we'll walk the hallway with these little buttons that you would never see. But when a blind student is walking along the hall, they'll be able to feel their way to the classroom, we mark their cubbies, we do all kinds of stuff, teach them how to go up and down the cafeteria. I mean, we've got students that have no vision at all. that we work with. So, we do the whole gamut. And we're still really the only, besides teachers of the visually impaired in some of the school systems, we're really the only agency, the only nonprofit agency that serves blind. And so we are very, very appreciative of the support that we've had, and I know we've got a couple of very strong advocates for our organization, and we're very grateful. Most of the towns don't support us, applying for allocations from towns is something that's been relatively new within the last 7 or 8 years for us. And we are reaching out, but I guess we're sort of, most towns, their funds are committed to other charities that they've been serving for many, many years. We kind of got in late at the game, but we're very appreciative of the support, and we do tell our clients in Tilton that the town does support our services because they're free. I mean, we don't charge for the services that we provide. Our agency is reliant on philanthropy for 3/4 of our operating budget. That's like 73% of our operating budget comes from funds that are raised. So.
Ready for questions?
Do you have any questions?
Okay, Bob, feel free to turn around. Pat, questions?
I
I love that. I'm a big fan.
I don't have any questions. I think that they do an amazing job. Every year they step it up, and there's more and more seniors because we have more and more seniors in Tilton. I've been familiar with what the Blind Association for Blind does for about 60 years now, since I've been a little tiny girl. And they do amazing work, but to see it on a one-on-one basis here in Tilton with our seniors and allowing them to stay in their homes a little bit longer, it's really, really fills your heart when you go in and see that they're able to stay, do what they can do. Shelley and her crew has been up to the senior center, and not only does that serve Tilton, but it also comes to everything, Belmont, Northfield. It benefits all of the people around that come to the senior center, and she's been able to reach out and help a lot of people. So yes, kudos to you.
Thank you very much. Kind of in the process now of developing peer support, some sort of a peer support group that would be somewhere between, like central New Hampshire. We've got people in Laconia, we've got people over here that are interested in just kind of getting together and sharing tips, on how to get around with it when you can't see, and special magnification devices, and when you see a group of people that are visually impaired, just the basic things like how do you put toothpaste on your toothbrush? Well, you don't. You just take the tube and put the toothpaste in, and just basic tips like that that you do when you can't see. It's very it's wonderful to see the support that people get from each other. So that's one of the things that we'd like to get going this coming year. In our advocacy group, we do have an advocacy group that Jane is part of that meets actually at the Northfield Community Center, and we have meetings. We're meeting quarterly now, but we've developed some special events, and we've been involved in some awareness activities. We've gone up to the new senior center just this summer and did another presentation, and we were down over in Franklin, and last summer did a presentation down there. So we're getting out there, but there's more to come, and you'll be reading a lot about us with our new CEO. I can assure you. So we're going to be doing a lot of different cutting edge kinds of things.
Good. Eric?
Just caught me off guard.
This is fair down that way, right?
If I am suddenly become visually impaired, are you the only resource available to me?
We have a state agency. Depending on your circumstance, the state agency will take certain folks, depending upon their funding. Let's say you lost your vision and you were working and your goal really was to get back into the workplace. We might go in and do some of the training, but then vocational rehab would probably take over and do some of the other training. But we definitely are the go-to, your doctor would refer to us. But the state agency, if it's a vocational, and for most people, when they lose their vision, going back to work is the last thing they want to think about, like, right away.
Right.
What we do, we would be the ones that would go in first and give you the support counseling that you need and get you to the point where, yeah, okay, I can go back to work, or I can, it takes a while to have that, to have it all processed. And then we would work, it would be either us or a state agency. The state agency would do it.
Are your services covered by insurance, or is this just,
Well, this is interesting, because what we're doing now, obviously being reliant on philanthropy is I mean, we do have an endowment account, and we have to draw from that every year to keep going. But what we're doing is we're going to be moving part of our service model to the occupational therapy model. We're going to be doing the same thing, but calling it something different, so that we'd be able to get third-party reimbursement. And so that's what's going on, with us now, because we can't, over time, we feel like we're not going to be able to sustain ourselves, although we have been in business since 1912, so it's kind of like, but you can't just rest on your laurels and just hope that, funds come in. So we are aggressively pursuing third-party reimbursement, and hopefully we'll be getting some of those monies, within the next couple of years. We're waiting to hear from the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation and another funder that's going to give us some grant funding, 2-year grant funding, so that we can launch a pilot and kind of see how it goes.
Good.
well, I was just thinking, because of the requirement now, if we're all supposed to be insured now for health
Right.
insurance. I didn't know if anything is ever covered.
Well, our stuff is not like we're not a covered service now under, we're just out, we're on our own. We're on our own. That's why we're kind of isolated.
People just know about your services.
People know about us or find out about us, but we're not part of the regular medical treatment milieu that people would follow. But we want to get into that game, because there is money out there, and we want to be able to, especially with our folks, to be able to get Medicare reimbursement would be really, really helpful. And then if we had the Medicare piece, then we would be in a position to be able to provide the devices that we need, like the video magnifiers and all of that stuff for free or reduced rate for people.
My last one. Typically, how many visits does a service require? I mean, is it, let's say my parents moved up here, and I need the services for a parent, and then, you come out and do, or let's just say I all of a sudden need vision assistance, and we call you and say, we need help. Do you come, and then do you come back and do a follow-up, or is it you come?
Yeah, we do. What we first would do is, how it goes is, we will get an eye report from your eye doctor or your primary care doctor saying what the issues are. And then they'll make a recommendation for vision rehabilitation, is what we do. And that will come out to your house, and or some people come to the center. Some people, but we would typically come to your house and do a low vision evaluation to kind of determine. I mean, we're going to already know how much vision you have, but everybody's vision is different. And the benefit is, of having us, is that we'll come with a bunch of magnifiers, and I don't know how many. I think we probably dispensed probably 700 of those little video magnifier, the little magnification devices that they're illuminated, so you can save a little light. And we'll check different lenses and all of that. We'll ask you, what are the kinds of things that you do on a daily basis, or what are the things that you used to do that you can't do now? And we try to get you back to doing what you were able to do with modifications in your home, lighting, magnification, whatever it takes. So that's kind of, so then we will, try out different magnifiers, and then we'll see how it goes, and then we'll do a check-in. We have someone that follows up and sees how, if you're happy with the services, and then if you need more help, we'll come back out. So it's unlimited, and I know we have several clients here in Tilton who actually they're not active clients anymore, but they'll call us for the large print calendar, or if they need, we have these big check writing things so that you can write your own checks and you stay in the line. We have all kinds of devices like that they either lose, but they'll call us, so it's not direct, we're not providing direct service, but we are, giving them a device and helping them out over the phone, those types of things.
Eric, also?
I'm all set, thank you.
John?
I'm all set, Eric.
Jane?
I just wanted to say that my first exposure to the Budget Committee was because I came here as somebody in the audience for a public hearing, because I knew someone who was vision impaired, and I came to advocate for her, and at that time, the Budget Committee was not giving you much money.
Right, and we've been getting, right.
And the chairperson for the Budget Committee kept forgetting my name that night. She kept calling me June and Joan, and she finally said, "I can't remember your name." And I said my name, and I said, "You will remember it."
Yeah.
And I ran for the Budget Committee the next year, primarily because of that. So it's kind of an interesting story.
Yeah.
But the one thing I have to say is that, and I'm not sure what the percentage is now, but a couple of years ago, the percentage was that 89% of people over 65 will develop macular degeneration at some time in their life. And we're living to be older and older and older, and I think that's one of the things that you're involved with as much as anything else, is the macular degeneration.
Well, that's the biggest, you're probably right. I know that the only statistic that I'm familiar with that statistic, but one out of every 5 people over the age of 65 will develop macular degeneration in their lifetime. And that's our biggest chunk, probably. I think you have the statistics, I left the statistics here, but I think probably 50% of the clients we have, maybe more, I'm not sure, have macular degeneration. And it just, and it's, they're making a lot of advances. There's a lot of those, a lot of shots and a lot of things for some certain types of macular degeneration, but for some people, they lose it fast. But we're seeing a lot of diabetes, and people don't, we know someone, right?
Yeah.
And, people's lifestyle, you got to think about your, you got to think about your health, because I've seen diabetics lose it like that, go to work, and just, boom, it's gone.
And I think another thing too, I never really thought of it, but think about starting to lose your sight and not being able to see money. You can feel money and you can see it, but you can't see details enough to know how much of a bill it is, and the little tips of how to count money. People who are totally blind can go to the grocery store and shop and know how much money they're giving and know how much they're getting back because of organizations like the New Hampshire Association for the Blind, who teach those kind of tips. Think about going shopping, have somebody bring you home and bring your groceries in, and you have to put those away, but you don't know where they are. So, little tips like that. And as I say, we are an aging population, and as I said 2 years ago, that statistics was shocking to me, and it's going to get bigger. So I think the services that you provide are absolutely outstanding.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it. Yeah, I never hear a bad thing about them. So, but
Anything else, ma'am?
No, that's it.
Jules?
I didn't see anything here about dogs using, do you do anything with
we provide the prerequisite training. So in order for a person to get a guide dog, it's not easy to get a guide dog. They have to go through this orientation and mobility training or safe travel training. So they need to be able to demonstrate that they can navigate on their own using a white cane. So we teach them skills like, if somebody left here and went to cross the street, how do you cross the street? There's different cues. You listen for traffic, which way the traffic's moving. Different things like that people have to learn. Once they can demonstrate that they're proficient in white cane travel, where they know, and they put them through a road test and all this. And they also kind of look at your lifestyle, see if you're someone that has the ability to actually care for an animal, then they will, then they'll accept you at the guide dog school. And they match, and then they get on, I mean, some of them, they get on a plane, they head out to Oregon, or they'll go down to New Jersey, and they go by themselves on a plane, and they come back with a dog. So they have to be ready.
So you do the preliminary
We do
prep
the
work, but
yeah. Nobody can
nothing really to do with the dogs.
Nobody can get a dog unless they pass the road test or whatever their test, and we give them the training they need to do that. The guide dog schools are very well funded. They're all, I mean.
You might want to talk about how much a trained guide dog is worth.
Oh, my goodness.
That was very shocking to me.
It's very shocking. I don't know that, I don't remember the figure, but it's because
Over
they.
$100,000.
How many? How much?
Over 100.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, these people come out, and from the guide dog schools come out and make sure that your dog's not gaining weight, make sure that that you're not treating the dog like the family pet, that your dog is actually a work dog. I mean, there's a lot of conditions, that you're giving them the right food. I mean, I think they even pay for, the special.
They pay for veterinary, and there is someone locally who's a member of our little board that.
Puppy raiser.
That's a puppy raiser. And she's visually impaired. There are devices so that you can continue to drive even though you're losing your sight.
We don't promote those.
No, but there are. I mean, it's
Yeah,
kind
no,
of,
there are.
it's kind of amazing. But the dogs, very often, there's a group that comes up to the Masonic Hall. I can find out when they come, if anybody's ever interested in going, and they show the dogs. Margaret always comes.
The guide dog
Guide
users?
dogs, yeah.
Guide dog users group,
Yeah.
yeah, there is a group of guide dog
And they
users,
come up
yeah.
to the Masonic Temple, and they do a demonstration, and they have puppies with them, and they have the full-grown dogs and the trained dogs.
They're
and-
so cute. I used to have a German Shepherd, and I remember this, Margaret, who's a member of our group, brought her guide dog, Maxine, or whatever the dog's name is, and it was the most beautiful German Shepherd, this little puppy. I kept looking at it, and he kept looking at me and all this stuff. So then, so anyway, a meeting about 6 months ago, or maybe 4 months ago, she brings Maxine. Maxine's like a pony. Thinks it's a huge dog. And I was telling her when she was a puppy, I said, look, if you need some respite, I can take the dog for the day. And now this Maxine looks like I could ride her, It's like, I don't know. But anyway, no, thank you. I just appreciate your support and all those kind words, and.
Hold on for a second, Jules? Christine?
I do have a couple questions,
sure, okay,
but
yeah.
it sounds like you have a lot of fans here, and I'm going to add my 2 cents, because my daughter's blind in one eye, and my mother-in-law was the diabetic, from birth, and I think a lot of the techniques and tools, the way, it's explained, is good for non-blind people.
Oh, really?
My house never panicked on an outage. Everybody knew what to do, and it
Yeah,
just,
right. Yeah,
you'd be
yeah.
amazed at how helpful it is. Even my house today was, we still do the same thing.
Right.
So, I saw that maintenance and repairs was up a bit. Did you have something major going on?
Well, I know we've had issues. We have an elevator, and we've had some issues with an elevator. It's been very expensive. In fact, one of our board of the wife of one of our board of directors wanted to do some volunteering, so she brought a volunteer at the center, and she got stuck on the elevator for 35 minutes. So the elevator has been really, really expensive. I'm not sure specifically. We live in it. We're in an old building. It's an old school, so there are some issues that are deferred. Some heating issues, some air conditioning leaks. I mean, things like that. But whenever you're in these big old places, one leak means something bigger. So those are the only things I can remember. But I know the elevator is something that has stood out.
Do you foresee any major things, since it's a really old building? Has all these been repaired, or?
I don't see anything, it's in good, it is in good shape, but whenever there's a problem in an old building, it's always, a bigger problem. But I don't see any, the roof is good, the heating, we talked about doing some more energy, we've done some more energy efficient things, but if we did more of that, we would get a grant for it, get some grant funding for it. But I don't see any big repairs down the road that I'm aware of.
And then one other major one was equipment rental. Your budget was 275, it was 8,800. Was that part of all those issues, or?
Equipment rent, trying to think of what equipment was rented. I don't know offhand, but I can,
Yeah.
email, should I email you and?
No, Joanna.
Joanna? Oh, okay.
Pass it to
Joanna.
us, yeah.
I'll email you and have it, tell you what makes up that line.
What's miscellaneous contained, do you know?
I'll get that too. I'll get that baked. I'm not sure what it is exactly. I'm not the, but I will, those are good questions, and I'll get the answer.
And that's
Anything else? Any further questions from the committee? Any further remarks you'd like to add?
No. Thanks again. I appreciate coming in and seeing all of you too. It's fun to come.
Thank you for spending time with us.
You bet.
Thank you. You're welcome.
See you soon.
Well, sir, would you like to join us? Yes, come on up. We don't let the grass grow under our feet? Road. Come on in, and thank you very much.
Go around my
Have a
house.
great evening.
Did I
If you-
take your pen?
No, that's okay.
There's the pen. That's the pen.
If you'd sign in, sir?
You pull it on.
Okay, we have to sign in these new state regulations and all this
Okay, well, we'll do that.
foolishness.
What is this one?
This would be the Highland Concert Series.
Is that the Hartwell or the TN? Old Hartwell. Thank you. Okay,
First thing we'll do, sir, is introduce everybody. There are some new members and some of us older members.
Okay.
You would be who, sir?
Fine.
Thank you, sir.
My name's Chris Meinhold. I've been with the Island Concerts since before there were any Island Concerts, so it's been well over 20 years, so.
Good. And the end is?
Christine Dembitsky?
Julie Harvey?
I will not mess you up this time. It's Jane.
Jane
I gotta
Alden.
remember her name.
Yeah, I know. June, isn't it? Wayne Brock?
Joan, okay.
John Scanlon.
Hi, John.
Eric Pyra.
And behind you, I think you know this lady too.
I certainly do. Hi, Pat.
If she has a question, sir, feel free to turn around instead of scrunching around.
Sure.
What would you like to talk to us about? The floor is yours.
Okay, well, I'm just here on behalf of Allison Hartwell, what we have been used to would be, asking the towns, both towns, Tilton and Northfield, to support the concerts by a $2,000 donation, not a donation, but, support.
Support.
For the concert series. And that's pretty much been the case for the last several years. And I'm here to just to reinforce that
And answer any questions the new members have.
yes,
Are you ready, sir?
I am ready.
See, Christine, I got you this time.
Okay.
I'm ready to start. How do you figure the town contributions? One, Northfield's 15 and we're 2,000?
That wasn't, well, that isn't how that was supposed to come out. It was supposed to be $2,000. I don't know exactly, the town, it went in to town meeting, actually, at $1,500. And when I left the town meeting, it was back to $2,000.
For Northfield?
Yes. So, We credited back the 500 to the town of Northfield because of a rainout on one of the concerts that they would be asked to support.
Do you track these people? This is 2,394. How are you able to track who's coming in there?
We count people.
You do?
We have a counter. You come across the
Way to
bridge,
go.
you get counted.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, it's been,
I'm all set.
Bet you that one, didn't he?
when Alan was with us, he used to go, in fact, he used to go over, cross over the railroad bridge and go over into at the time,
Harwood, yes.
parking lot, and because people used to park over there to listen to the concerts. And, but that, the company decided that wasn't it was a liability issue, and they didn't want people over there, and so
And
anyway.
I think Pat wants to make a comment on
Yeah.
piggybacking from you.
No, I just, Chris, for the sake of the new folks here.
Yes.
Can you explain how you determine, I mean, Allison Hartwell Stewart family puts in a lot of money.
They do.
We, the town of Tilton, are asked to put in 2,000. The town of Northfield is asked to put in 2,000. But on an average, the bands that you have there, the cost of the bands is about $500 to $600 or more.
More, yeah.
More. And so they have how many concerts?
Oh, it's 9 weeks.
9 weeks of concerts, and they get donations from Franklin Savings Bank, the Rotary,
Right.
and
Insurance
Northfield,
company,
Right.
an insurance company.
insurance company.
Gale's Insurance, right.
And they, sometimes one night, there's 3 companies supporting that night. So Tilton supports a couple, Northfield supports a couple, and then the Hartwell family, where it started almost 25 years ago.
Right.
Puts in the rest of the money to keep the concerts continuing.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to know that that's...
Yeah, I see him and everything, and I,
Yeah.
Not $2,000 for everything that happens.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Right.
It's not cheap to put the concerts on. And they, they have insisted that they want, make sure that legacy, her father's legacy is those concerts will continue on ad infinitum, as long as the family can do it, and
brings families together.
Yes. And as regards to the process with Northfield Budget, I would suggest you go over and watch one of their meetings. It's very interesting. Jules?
About the website, I assume it's like one pay, I don't know how complicated it is or complex, but $900 a year, I was wondering, could you just have a link on the Town of Tilton's site to a page? Or ask
John?
Northfield for the same thing, and then save all that
I don't
money?
know, I couldn't tell you, because I'm not,
I could easily just
Yeah.
help that.
John, do you know anything about the website?
It probably, well, it says advertising and website, so I don't know. I know you do a lot of advertising.
yes.
It is,
Most of it's advertised.
it's on,
It's
it's on,
$600.
Something that the town would be involved in.
It's advertised.
No, but
Eric? Jules? Eric?
there's a website called, it's part of another website, angelfire.com/music, 4/Tilton NH. And if you Google it, and then they have they have the 2014 schedule on there. So,
Yeah, some of them
it's
have,
an outdated,
2014.
it's an outdated website, but
some of them did,
They're not
they
paying
tried
somebody to
other
maintain it.
methods, but it never seemed to work out, and it was, people had no idea. How would you know where to go look? For a website, so they have their own, it's, but most of that expense is advertising and the website. But-
Okay, well, I'm just saying, because that's
Yeah.
an awful lot, because you're spending $600 on posters,
Mm-hmm.
and then $900 on question mark.
well, if you
It's
click
not
on the
the website.
2014 schedule, it will take you to the 2015 schedule, so.
There you go.
I think most people
False
would want
information.
It's a very basic. Very basic.
Town of Tilton, they're going to look there for the schedule.
We have their schedule on our website.
Oh, okay.
So
Town of
why,
Northfield does too.
and it's free, so I don't know what this extra advertising would be. It's $900.
Well,
Be a good,
it's newspaper advertising, they do a bunch of it. I mean, it's,
John Jessamine,
also, I mean, and to include the, you know, the advertising that goes in the newspapers and so forth, it's, I don't do that, so.
The large banner that goes up
Right.
in between the...
So is the banner
Get rid-
is not part of the posters.
No.
No, that's, the posters and banner, those are, well, we have a banner, separate banner for the folks that have donated or are supporting a concert, or maybe one concert or two concerts or something like that, if they want to get their name on there, like Franklin Savings or Gales Insurance or something like that, they go on this separate banner, which, gives them recognition for their support.
So would it be possible for us to put a link or some sort of schedule on our website?
There is.
There is.
Our website?
Town website, yes.
Oh, okay.
Every year we do it.
For free.
Jules for the questions.
That's it. Thanks.
Jane?
I would suggest that, if you really have a lot of questions about it, that you take the time this next summer to go to the concerts and see how many people come here. And quite frankly, to question them requesting $2,000 when I think they bring a lot more into the town because of the numbers of people that come from Laconia and the surrounding towns and spend money in this town. They have dinner at Tilton Inn, or they get their gas or whatever at Cumberland Farms. I think it does a lot for the town of Tilton. And I think it puts us on the map. There are people that come as far away as Manchester and the seacoast to the concerts. There are people who follow the different bands that come here. And so I think that we get a bargain for $2,000, and I would think it's a great event for the town of Tilton, and I appreciate it.
What has impressed me over the years is the number of folks that otherwise probably would spend Sunday night in their little apartment,
Yep.
watching their black and white TV,
Yep.
probably, or something to that effect. But this gives them an opportunity to get out, come down in their walkers, wheelchairs, and so forth, and come to a concert. And this is something they would not be able to do otherwise. It benefits, and we have a lot of young people down there. We have a great mix
Yeah,
of
it's
young
amazing.
and old, and the young bring their children,
And they dance,
and
and
they dance on the grass, and it's great. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
For the questions?
No.
John?
I don't really have any questions. I can thank you guys for all you've done. I know this year, Home Depot Lowe's did quite a bit.
Don't get in trouble.
Yes.
I worked with them and did a lot of scraping and sanding myself, and just the appreciativeness, and on top of that, the other things, by the Hartwell family, by putting the bandstand in there and maintaining this. Whenever there isn't a concert, there's usually a wedding there, and people are great about it. There's very little vandalism over there. There's so much respect for it, and I can only say good things, and the importance of cultural activities within a town.
Right.
You look at typical New England towns, and they have town commons that things get together and do things. For years, we didn't even have a town common, but our island was there, and the Hartwell family provided all these cultural activities. Now we have sort of a town common, and we have that. I can't say anything better about it, and I
A real benefit.
I look in there and I see the Hartwell family puts in $4,150 out of their own pocket, so.
Eric?
I can hear from my house, so I'm good.
Ed? Further questions?
I'm good, thanks.
Jules, you comfortable with your Any further questions?
Nope, I'm just looking for it.
Christine?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Any further questions from the Budget Committee? Sir, would you like to do anything supplement to what you said?
Nope, everything's good.
Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you
Enjoy
very
it.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, you guys.
Thank you.
Allison.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
You too.
We'll see you at some point.
She's looking at the...
Absolutely.
We'll see you in the island.
Hi.
Stop at the island.
See you at the
You
island.
guys said it was on the town website.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm looking for.
Well, there's no
Thank
concerts in the
you.
winter.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Chris.
Good. Great question. Did you find it yet,
It's
Jules?
not June.
They only post it when it's available, when it's in July, when they start the concert.
Oh, okay, so they, where would it be?
And then we take it down.
Oh,
It would be.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you much, sir.
Somewhere here, yeah.
Okay. We are now waiting for the...
Have a great night.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you very much.
Ew.
We're waiting for someone from Old Home Day at this point in time.
Did we get the financials from them yet?
Did we?
I believe you have one.
Yeah, we have them.
I have.
What do you have? I
have
didn't,
the original appropriation sheet and then the bank statement that they had sent in, which you said you had last week.
yeah,
That's all I've got.
they never sent in a
They never sent
financial.
it 216 budget.
You have what I have.
What time is it?
8 o'clock. So they got time. We'll give them a couple minutes.
I think one of the things, and I'm all in support of Old Home Day and helping them out and everything, but it's imperative that we do get what we request from everybody, and that's what you're going to be spending the money on.
Are they,
And
are that
we
they
can
show up?
assist. Yeah, we can assist them. I mean, there's plenty of us volunteers and other people out there that could, assist with somebody on it, because Old Home Day, just like anything else, is all volunteers. And after a while, there's no new volunteers, and it falls on to a few people, and they get overwhelmed, and, it's...
How many is there?
What are they down to now? Just like 3 key
Well,
people?
About 6 people on the committee, but then they have their families actually work the day of Old Home Day. Joe Jessamine has worked there for a few years flipping hamburgers. I did it for a couple of years.
I did it for 5 years.
That long, not all day long flipping hamburgers.
Wow.
But I've been on the committee for about 3 years. Last year was the first year I couldn't do it. It's a lot of work. Go door to door, asking for donations for the brochure, to support, to get them to back up monies for the fireworks, and then you have advertisement, then the parade, putting together the parade, then putting together
Getting the food already, getting the booths,
the booths, and the registrations of the booths, and
cleaning up afterwards.
the cleanup afterwards is huge.
I wonder if we can put on the website, for people to, so they can have more help, more volunteers.
This will segue to what I was going to suggest to the committee, is that next week, when the select board is here with their portion of the budget, we take up the funding for the outside agencies at the same time. John, I think that's a good time to address the issue that you're having with this organization.
It's not me having the...
No, I mean, it's raising the
just
issue.
the
I'm having the-
procedure and
Procedure.
letting them know that there's certain things we have to get
Right.
to be,
And I agree.
the responsibility to the town is to say,
And I think we'll bring that up, all those issues up next week.
Yeah,
Okay.
issues like that is what makes the meetings take longer, you can't make decisions, and, it's not streamlined at all.
Right. So so next week, if the committee is ready to do that, I don't have a problem with that. Before we do that, though, Pat, would you give the committee just a general update on the select board budget?
Yeah, we're probably about 95% through it. What we have left now depends on what we vote on tomorrow night. for encumbrances. And encumbrances meaning you use this year's monies instead of putting out, raising and appropriating next year's. We did vote on some outside agencies. Pretty much all of the outside agencies we voted on. So we will vote to finalize the budget tomorrow night. Tim will send it out to Johanna and she'll get it out to you by Friday. Unless you're not in on Friday. Okay, so that's the plan, Friday. It'll be a draft. What will be left would be health insurance, because that's still open enrollment. We don't know whether it's going to be family plan or a double, or if it's going to be a buyout. And we have, pretty much, in a nutshell, that's
Thank you, Pat.
no major things going on anyway.
John, anything to add?
No.
If the committee is accepting, we will hear the select board and the department heads will be here next week for you to ask questions of. So we'll do that first. The second piece is to start taking a look at the outside agencies. If the committee is so determined to do so. Do I have any, because we can get out of here a little early. I know that smiles to people's faces.
You want to know what we encumbered already?
Sure.
We spent money on the senior center outbuilding roof, which is leaking. That was $10,000. We had to do the appraisal, so that we encumbered monies to do the appraisal for the leaking matter. We are purchasing a folder insert for downstairs, so that when sewer tax bills are being mailed out, they're folded, inserted, instead of somebody doing that manually. We covered money to trim the trees on the island. There's some of them that are really in bad shape that are hung up by fires. And we did new devices on new tablets, I guess you call it, Chromebooks, for the selectmen. Ours are Android-based, and we notice now with Chrome, we can't get a lot of the applications shared throughout the departments on that. If it's multiple pages, we can't do it. And Public Works has a power steamer, power washer, steamer, clean culverts, and so on and so forth, multiple tasks that they don't have to rent.
Okay, anything else, Pat? So with the agreement of the committee, next week with the agenda, it's a motorcycle, we'll do the select board budget with the department heads, and then start looking at the outside agency funding. So be prepared to vote.
So are they presenting, each head is presenting their budget for their,
The selectmen's budget is one as a whole.
and they're in that?
We will have the departments here in case you have
okay.
specific questions on specific items. And the police, obviously, is a big portion of our budget.
Yeah.
You want to ask them specific about uniforms, weapons, things like that. They'll be here to answer those questions.
Any further, Eric?
Will we have a list of what's been encumbered?
Yes.
That will be coming out with that. You'll get down Friday.
Friday.
So it's important that everybody checks our emails provided.
Time to
All goes
review it.
well, and we can do a little interesting reading this weekend.
Good.
That's
Did
what we
everybody
wanted to
get
do.
the information from
Insomniac here.
Christopher Welch about
Yes.
Genesis?
Did everyone get the email from Genesis? Okay. Any other business for the budget committee on this date? If not, Jane?
Make a motion to adjourn.
John?
A second?
It's a non-debatable motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Have a great week, folks.
Very nice.
Pat or John, would you turn the camera off?
I don't, Joan. So, we're feeling it.
That was-
Those were good. Coming down.
We're feeling it.
These were good. That was licorice. That was good.
Do that once.
I know.
Did you try the